There's a moment each morning, so small you barely notice it, yet it decides the kind of person you'll be for the rest of the day. 10 seconds. That's all it takes to drift back into your old life, or step quietly into a new one. Most people never realize how powerful those first 10 seconds are. They just slip through them on autopilot. Some days, you wake up with this weight on your chest. Not stress, exactly, more like expectation. You tell yourself, today will be different, but then 10 seconds pass, and the old version of you takes control again. You reach for your phone, scroll, disappear into noise before your eyes even adjust to the light. And just like that, the day becomes another repeat of the same life you're trying to outgrow. You've probably wondered why it keeps happening. Why change feels like dragging yourself uphill with no air. Why habits don't stick, even when your intentions are honest. The answer is simple, but uncomfortable. Every change you try to make is fighting against your identity. Not loudly, not aggressively. It's subtle, quiet, woven into the story you've told yourself for years. You say you want to wake up early, but your identity quietly insists, we're not morning people. You want to eat better, but your identity says, we always break after 2 days. You want to study, to grow, to be disciplined, but your identity whispers, we've tried this before. And that whisper is powerful. Identities are stories, stories built from micro moments, tiny decisions, small choices repeated over months and years. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of the story you believe. And that story is built in fragments of time so small they feel meaningless. 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there. Just enough to reinforce who you think you are. Think back to the last time you promised yourself you'd start a new habit. Go to the gym, meditate, study, build a routine. You had the intention, the plan, even the motivation, but when the moment came to act, something invisible stopped you. A pause, a hesitation, a soft voice saying, not now. That hesitation lives inside those first 10 seconds. We think habits fail because we're not disciplined, but really, they fail because we don't control the entry point, the doorway between intention and action. Your brain is wired for what's familiar. It prefers the version of you that's predictable, even if predictable is making you unhappy. So in that 10-second window, it gently pulls you back into the identity you've practiced the longest. Not because it's better, but because it's known. This is why so many people stay stuck for years. Not because they're incapable of change, but because no one taught them how to win the opening moment. Everyone has their 10-second patterns. For some, it's grabbing the phone. For others, it's the instinct to delay or the subtle urge to procrastinate. I'll start later. 10 seconds of delay becomes 10 minutes, then an hour, then another day slipped into the past. These tiny openings shape everything, yet we barely acknowledge them. But what if the problem was never the habit itself? What if it was never the workout, or the meditation, or the studying? What if the real battle was always the 10 seconds before it? That little moment where your brain decides whether to keep you the same, or allow you to become someone new. That tiny window is where your entire life has been stuck. And most people never even see it. This is where everything shifts. The solution is so simple, it almost feels suspicious. But simplicity is the most underestimated force in self-improvement. It's called the first 10 seconds rule. And here's how it works. Whenever you want to act on a habit that aligns with your future self, give it 10 seconds. Just start the action. Nothing more. You don't need to finish the workout. Just put on your shoes. You don't need to meditate for 10 minutes. Just sit and exhale. You don't need to study for hours. Just open the book. Why 10 seconds? Because your brain cannot fight motion once motion begins. Resistance lives at the beginning, at the doorway, not inside the room. Once you start, everything else becomes easier. The hesitation fades. The excuses quiet down. The action pulls you forward. Your brain stops negotiating because the action has already begun. But the real magic isn't that you start the habit. It's that you start rewriting your identity. Every time you begin, you send yourself a new message. This is who I am. An identity is built on evidence, not desire. 10 seconds of action feels small, almost laughable, but the identity shift it triggers is massive. Because your brain believes what you do, not what you hope. Imagine stacking these tiny wins every day. One 10-second start today, one tomorrow, another next week. Slowly, quietly, your story begins to change. Suddenly you're not trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're not trying to be consistent. You are consistent. You're not trying to transform. You're already in motion. The first 10 seconds rule strips away the pressure and leaves only the truth. You don't need motivation, you need motion. So how do you make this part of your life? Start by choosing one identity you want to grow into. Not 5, not 10, 1. Do you want to be healthier? More focused? More grounded? More reliable? Choose the identity first, because habits grow out of identity, not the other way around. Next, attach one 10-second starter to that identity. If you want to become someone who reads, your 10-second action is opening the book. If you want to work out, your 10-second action is lacing your shoes. If you want to meditate, your 10-second action is sitting down and taking a breath. Keep it small. Keep it simple. Keep it doable. Then, and this is important, celebrate the start, not the finish. Most people only praise themselves for big accomplishments. But big accomplishments happen occasionally. Starting happens every day. When you feel proud of the start, consistency becomes effortless. After that, remove friction from the first 10 seconds. Lay out your clothes the night before. Keep your book on your pillow. Put a water bottle beside your bed. Make starting easy. Make the doorway wide. When the first 10 seconds are frictionless, your habits flow naturally. And finally, repeat. Repeat until the identity feels normal. You'll know it's working when you catch yourself saying things like, "This is just what I do." Not forced, not dramatic, just part of who you are. The goal isn't perfection, it's repetition. 10 seconds at a time. Identity is rebuilt in tiny steps, not grand transformations. In the end, transformation isn't loud. It's quiet. It's soft. It happens in 10-second windows that most people ignore. But you won't ignore them anymore, because now you know where the real power is. Every time you win those first 10 seconds, you win the day. Win enough days, and you win a new identity. A quieter, stronger, more aligned version of you.